वया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठके हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय जगत गुरु शिला प्रपाद की जय। शिला गुरुदेव महाश्री गोसाई महाराज की जय। भगवत गीता एज इट इज की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम पुराण की जय। नेक्टर ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शंस की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा डियर डिवोटीज। First of all, I want to thank you very much, His Grace Amrish Prabhu, Her Grace Purna Pragya Devi Dasi Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarpan Krishna Prabhu for organizing these wonderful classes and giving us this chance to share our realizations. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for the guiding and all the training. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, we are on Nectar of Instruction, text number 3. So we will continue discussing where we left last week. First of all, we will start with reciting the verse. So I'm just going to share. I think I don't have the privilege to share my screen. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. Right. So I'll recite first and then all the devotees will follow. उत्साह निश्चया धैर्या तत्तत् कर्म परवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सतो वृत्ते षड्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति। Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotion service. Number 1, being enthusiastic. Number 2, endeavoring with confidence. Number 3, being patient. Number 4, acting according to regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. Number 5, abandoning the association of non-devotees. And number 6, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotion service. All right, so I request other devotees to recite this. Who's going first?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhuji, Her Grace Purna Pragya Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarpan Krishna Das Prabhuji for arranging these classes. Thank you, His Grace Sanjeev Prabhuji and Her Grace Dolly Mataji, His Grace Sheetal Prabhuji and Her Grace Namrata Mataji for training us. Prabhuji, I just wanted to ask actually that the tune, even though the number of syllables as such is same as the Bhagavad Gita, the normal tune, but the tune is different, right?
No, it's the same, because if like the first verse where the tune is different, Vacho Vegam, that's a different one.
Okay.
This one is because the syllables similar. Yes.
Okay. उत्साह निश्चया धैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सतो वृत्तेः षड्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. 1. Being enthusiastic. 2. Endeavoring with confidence. 3. Being patient. 4. Acting according to regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. 5. Abandoning the association of non-devotees. And 6. Following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Can you speak a little louder, Prabhuji? It's a bit.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I
Yeah,
audible now?
yeah, that's better. That's better.
Thank you, His Grace Ambrish Prabhuji, Her Grace Purna Pragya Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarpan Krishna Prabhuji for training us. Thank you, His Grace Sanjeev Prabhuji and Her Grace Dolly Mataji for mentoring us. Hare Krishna. उत्साह निश्चयधैर्यात् तत्तत्कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सतो वृत्तेः शब्दैर्भक्ति प्रसिद्धति. Translation. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. First, being enthusiastic. Second, endeavoring with confidence. Third, being patient. Fourth, acting according to the regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. Fifth, abandoning the association of non devotees. And sixth, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay. Next. Yeah. Yes,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, His Grace Sandesh Prabhuji, Hare Grace Purna Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Prabhuji for training us. And thank you, His Grace Sanjeev Prabhuji and Hare Grace Dolly Mataji, His Grace Sheetal Prabhuji and Hare Grace Namrata Mataji. उत्साह निश्चया धैर्या तत्कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सतो वृत्तेः षड्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति. Translation. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. First, being enthusiastic. Second, endeavoring with confidence. Third, being patient. Fourth, acting according to regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. Fifth, abandoning the association of non-devotees. And sixth, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service.
Very nice. Thank you,
Thank
Prabhu.
you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhuji, Her Grace Purna Pramna Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Sampan Krishna Prabhuji for organizing such classes. Thank you, His Grace Sanjeev Prabhuji, Her Grace Noli Mataji, His Grace Shita Prabhuji, and Her Grace Namrata Mataji for training us. Utsaha nishchaya dhairya tat karma pravartana संगत्याग सतो वृत्ते षड्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति. Translation. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. First, being enthusiastic. Second, endeavoring with confidence. Third, being patient. Fourth, acting according to regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. Fifth, abandoning the association of non-devotees. And sixth, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Okay. So, is any other devotees wants to recite?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, thank you to His Grace Amrish Prabhuji, Her Grace Purna Pragya Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarthan Krishna Prabhu. And thank you very much, Sanjeev Prabhuji, for your class. Hare Krishna. उत्साहात् निश्चयात् धैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सतो वृत्तये षड्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution pure devotional service. Number 1, being enthusiastic. Number 2, endeavoring with confidence. Number 3, being patient. Number 4, acting according to the regulative principle such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. Number 5, abandoning the association of non-devotees. And number 6, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service.
Very nice. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Prabhu.
Thank you. All right. So, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, His Grace Amrish Prabhuji. Thank you, Her Grace Purna Pragna Devidasi Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarthan Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you for organizing the program, Prabhuji, and thank you for taking the class. Oh, thank you all the devotees for your very nice recitations. Thank you. उत्साहा निश्चया धैर्या तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनम् संगत्यागत् सतो वृत्तेः सद्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. Number 1, being enthusiastic. Number 2, endeavoring with confidence. 3, being patient. 4, acting according to regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. 5, abandoning the association of non-devotees. 6, following the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, all the devotees. So, we discussing the purport of Srila Prabhupada, and we reached to this point here. Yeah, we discussed the Tadviti Pranipatena, this verse, famous verse from Bhagavad Gita. Now we will start reading from the next paragraph. I just want somebody volunteer to read this. Last time I think Divanshi Mataji read it. Yes, Srishti Mataji, you can.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, are you able to hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, thank you. It is further recommended in the Mundak Upanishad, Tad Vignartham Sa Gurum Iva Gachet. To understand the transcendental science, one must approach a bona fide spiritual master. Thus, this method of submissively receiving transcendental confidential knowledge is not merely based on mental speculation. In this regard, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Rupa Goswami, ब्रह्मांड ब्रह्मिते को न भगवान जीव गुरु कृष्ण प्रसादे पाए भक्ति लता बीज.
भाग्यवान जी.
भाग्यवान को.
Yes.
ब्रह्मांड ब्रह्मिते को न भगवान जीव गुरु कृष्ण प्रसादे पाए भक्ति लता बीज. In the course of traversing the universal creation of Brahma, some fortunate soul may receive the seed of Bhakti Lata, the creeper of devotional service. This is all by the grace of Guru and Krishna. Chaitanya Chaitamrit Madhya Leela, chapter 19, verse 151. The material world is a place of confinement for the living entities who are by nature anandamaya, pleasure seeking. They actually want to be free from the confinement of this world of conditional happiness, but not knowing the process of liberation. They are bound to transmigrate from one species of life to another and from one planet to another. In this way, the living entities are wandering throughout the material universe. When by good fortune one comes in contact with a pure devotee and hears from him patiently, one begins to follow the path of devotional service. Such an opportunity is offered to a person who is sincere. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness is giving such a chance to humanity at large. If by fortune one takes advantage of this opportunity to engage in devotional service, the path of liberation immediately opens.
Yes. Thank you, Madam. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this point here, the point stick out is Bhagyavan Jiva. This is a famous verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Bhagyavan Jiva means the fortunate living entity. So, and Guru Krishna Prasade, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. So now, what is it? Is it our good fortune or is it the mercy? When we look at it closely, we can understand that millions and millions of living entities, they're wandering throughout the universe, but some are becoming fortunate when they receive causeless mercy of Guru and Krishna. So it is causeless mercy of our Guru and mentors that we come in contact with bona fide parampara. Otherwise, on our own, we cannot find out. Because Srila Prabhupada are saying in other purpose that the only a person who is free from this material contamination or who is transcendental, he can free us. A bound person cannot free another bound person. So it is purely the causeless mercy of our Guru that we can able to follow Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, millions and millions of living entities wandering in the universe up and down, higher planets to lower planets. Brahmande, Brahmand, Brahmite. So Brahmand is very big, and the Brahmite means the wandering. Sometimes going in higher planets, taking birth there, and then coming down to lower planets. So this fortune, or we become fortunate once we come in contact with Mahabhagavad, or come in contact with pure devotees. So we are very, very fortunate that we came in contact with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is such a Mahabhagavatan devotee that he spread this whole Hare Krishna movement all over the world. So all the entities, they become fortunate. So it is the mood of a devotee that he's a para dukkha dukhi. Now he's a true Vaishnava who is para dukkha dukhi. So this is the point here in this verse or this para. So let's see. We'll see that on the next para. Yes, Matan.
One should accept this opportunity to return home, back to Godhead, very enthusiastically. Without enthusiasm, one cannot be successful. Even in the material world, one has to be very enthusiastic in his particular field of activity in order to become successful. A student, businessman, artist, or anyone else who wants success in his line must be enthusiastic. Similarly, one has to be very enthusiastic in devotional service. Enthusiasm means action, but action for whom? The answer is that one should always act for Krishna. Krishna katha khile cheshta. Bhakti rasamrit sindhu.
Yes, Matan. Yes. Krishnartha akhila cheshta. So yes. So the point here is we will starting with enthusiastic. The 6 principles that we're studying. That the first favorable activities enthusiasm. Srila Prabhupada are giving the example even the material world that enthusiasm one cannot be successful. Yes, this is a favorable um, like I'll just get this example. Hold on. Yeah. So like in material world, we also can see that without enthusiasm, we cannot get success. We cannot get success. We all were student some stage, or you're still studying, then that without enthusiasm, we won't get, we got some project or new assignments or new whatever exam we have. So we need to study hard. We need to be very enthusiastic about it if we want to get the success. And without the enthusiasm, and that we won't be successful. And with the enthusiasm, we get confidence also. So now the real point is that act for whom? Act for Krishna, Srila Prabhupada is saying here. So this is devotional service. We have acted for others, our bosses, our family members, our own selves, or our pets, etc. So many number of things we are acted for others whole our life. Not just this lives, previous lives as well. But now is the time that we should act for Krishna. So Krishna, the why we are here, because why we are here in this material world, because we want to enjoy separately. And in order to do that, because the purpose of our existence is service, acting on behalf or service. Service for who? Krishna. But rather than that, we're doing something else. That's why we are in this material pool. So, but now we receive this sublime knowledge by the causeless mercy of Srila Prabhupada. We must act for Krishna. There is a song by Srila Narottama Das Thakur. You must have heard this song as well. It's a Vaishnava song. Hari Hari Bifale Janama Gonainu. मनुष्य जन्म पाइया राधा कृष्णा ना भजिया जानिया सुनिया विष खाइया खाइनु. O Lord Hari, I have spent my life uselessly, having obtained a human birth, and having not worshipped Radha Krishna, I have knowingly drunk poison. This is the mood of a pure devotee, of the Lord. We must act for Krishna with enthusiasm. Krishna, Artha, Akhila Cheshta. Cheshta means when we're doing work, we acting only for Krishna. So, Janya Shunya Vish Khaina. So, means by knowingly I drank poison. So, this is we have to follow this mood. We can't imitate, we cannot anukaran, we have to do anusharan. So these moods is in the Vaishnava songs are very, very high level mood. So when we sing these songs or read these songs, we can understand, or we can relish these moods. They are full of Krishna philosophy, pure bhakti. So yeah, so this is the point of Krishna. Krishna Artha Akhila Cheshta, only acting for Krishna, and with enthusiasm. So the first point is enthusiasm. We need to be enthusiastic. Otherwise, it feel after some time it feel a bit dull, But what is this meaning of enthusiastic? We will read further. What's that real meaning of enthusiastic with examples? Yes.
In all phases of life, one has to perform devotional service under the direction of spiritual master in order to attain perfection in Bhakti Yoga. It is not that one has to confine or narrow one's activities. Krishna is all pervading. Therefore, nothing is independent of Krishna. As Krishna himself states in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 4. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina मत्स्थानि सर्वभूतानि न चाहं चेतेष्व avashtita. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master.
We'll stop here. We'll discuss the point, Mataji, on this. Yeah. Yeah. So the point here is that we must act for Krishna, but under the guidance of our spiritual master. So you cannot act whimsically or independently. Then it is another way of our false ego. There is no restrictions in way of preaching. We can use everything in Krishna's service, as Srila Prabhupada explaining here with Bhagavad Gita reference. We are doing it now. So we are using like Zoom. Surely it is not created for Krishna conscious preaching, but we are using it for preaching. So we use everything for Krishna. So in this paragraph that we stopped here, Srila Prabhupada give the example of dictaphone as well. We will read this further. That Prabhupada was explaining the dictaphone is not similar way like we using Zoom. So it's not made for this purpose, but we're using it for Krishna conscious activities. So Srila Prabhupada explains this. I was like in other lectures or other instances, Srila Prabhupada called this Ajagar Vritti. Ajagar, means the big anaconda, Ajagar. So it's called Ajagar Vritti. So all the scientists and all the technologists, they work very hard to invent new technologies, but we are using them in the service of Krishna because everything belongs to Krishna. It's Krishna's energy. So this is the point Srila Prabhupada are saying here, that it is not that one has to confine or narrow one's activity. Srila Prabhupada said we don't have to confine or narrow it. Like I give the example that few years ago, before Corona, now we can officially call BC, before Corona, that that we didn't think that Hare Krishna weekend will expand like this online and like online programs, and devotees from around the globe will join the programs because we were attending the classes physically, at one place. But His Grace Amrish Prabhuji thought about it and implemented it. So he didn't narrow his activities or confined, but using the technologies to reach out to devotees in different countries. So thank you very much for Prabhuji for the creating this wonderful platform and giving us this opportunity to become your student and learn Srila Prabhupada instructions and study Srila Prabhupada books. So this is the prime example of not narrowing or not confined. We can always expand, or we can always use new ways, new thinking or technologies, then how we can preach, how we can serve Srila Prabhupada or Srila Gurudev, much better. So this is called Yukta Vairagya also, or Srila Prabhupada has explained that Ajagar Vritti. So we'll read this point as Srila Prabhupada gives the example of dictaphone. Let's read that point.
By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master, one has to make everything favorable for Krishna's service. For example, at present, we are using a dictaphone. A materialistic who invented this machine intended it for businessmen or writers or mundane subject matters. He certainly never thought of using the dictaphone in God's service. But we are using this dictaphone to write Krishna conscious literature. Of course, the manufacture of the dictaphone is wholly within the energy of Krishna. All the parts of the instrument, including the electronic functions, are made from different combinations and interactions of the 5 basic types of material energy, namely Bhumi, Jala, Agni, Vayu, and Aksha. Akash. The inventor used his brain to make this complicated machine, and his brain as well as the ingredients were supplied by Krishna. According to the statement of Krishna, Mat Sthani Sarva Bhutani. Everything is depending on my energy. Thus, a devotee can understand that since nothing is independent of Krishna's energy, everything should be dovetailed in his service.
Yeah, so this is the point, that everything should be dovetailed. Whatever we have, everything should be dovetailed in the service of Krishna, because everything belongs to him. But in this contamination stage, we are because we are thinking ourselves as an enjoyer, like we want to enjoy, so we're using everything in service of our sense gratification, not Krishna's service, and that's what the problem starts. So yeah, so this sublime knowledge that we're getting from Srila Prabhupada books, we must understand this, that the Srila Prabhupada gives the examples and the references from Bhagavad Gita or other scriptures, right, to stress on those points, that we must understand those points. And each point is explained by Srila Prabhupada so practically that we can relate to it, we can relate that how is practically we can implement, as I gave the example of before, the Zoom, so, and how we expand it. So this is the point of that everything belongs to Krishna. Let's read further.
Endeavor executed with intelligence is Krishna consciousness, is called utsaha or enthusiasm. The devotees find the correct means by which everything can be utilized in the service of the Lord. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. The execution of devotional service is not a matter of idle meditation, but practical action in the foreground of spiritual life.
Yes, so this is another example of utsaha and yukta vairagya. So what is real enthusiasm? So we sort of seen the example that Srila Prabhupada also gave, that in material world also we have to be enthusiastic. But how we become enthusiastic in spiritual activities? So that is utsaha. So it is endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada says in first line, endeavor executed with intelligence. So utsaha is not blind. We must use our intelligence. In our devotional service, in every activity, we must we must use our intelligence. In chanting, studying, and preaching, all the activities needs to be perfectly executed. I gave that example before. I want to give another example. His Grace Amrish Prabhuji always says that he thinks a lot about how to spread this message and how we can implement new ways to expand, how we all get engaged in such a way that we can progress in our bhakti. A lot of thinking, intelligence goes behind Hare Krishna WECAN activities. This is a real utsaha. Naturally, when we are new, we are enthusiastic, but we must keep this enthusiasm going. How? This is what we can learn from His Grace Amrish Prabhuji. Always implementing new ideas and encouraging us in devotion service. Then we can be Yukta Vairagya. or utilize everything in Krishna service. Otherwise, our mind is so cunning that it will tell us, no, it is yukta vairagya, even it is for our sense gratification. We want to eat palatable food. We want to we want branded clothes and shoes. We want luxury cars. We want 5-star facilities. If we are not careful, then on the name of Yukta Vairagya, we want to enjoy these facilities, and our mind will say, Krishna is first class, so everything should be first class. Of course, Krishna is first class, and everything in his service should be first class. But is it really we are doing for Krishna or not? For this knowledge and practical implementation, we require bona fide Guru. This is what Srila Prabhupada are saying. One has to perform devotional service or activities under the direction of the spiritual master in order to attain perfection in Bhakti Yoga. So this is the point of Yukta Vairagya. Because our mind is very tricky, it can trick us. And rather than using everything for Krishna, we start using everything for our sense gratification and on the name of Yukta Vairagya. So that's why we need really expert guidance and guidance of Guru. We must not act whimsically or independently. We always depend on our Guru or our mentors. So this is the point here. Yes. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
These activities must be executed with patience. One should not be impatient in Krishna consciousness. Indeed, this Krishna consciousness movement was started single-handedly, and in the beginning there was no response. But because we continue to execute our devotional service with patience, people gradually begin to understand the importance of this movement, and now they are eagerly participating. One should not be impatient in discharging devotional service, but should take instructions from the spiritual master and execute them with patience, depending on the mercy of Guru and Krishna. The successful execution of Krishna consciousness activity requires both patience and confidence. A newly married girl naturally expects offspring from her husband, but she cannot expect to have them immediately after marriage. Of course, as soon as she is married, she can attempt to get a child, but she must surrender to her husband, confident that her child will develop and be born in due time. Similarly, in devotional service, surrender means that one has to become confident. The devotee thinks, Avshaya Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will surely protect me and give me help for the successful execution of devotional service. This is called confidence.
Yes. So this is the confidence. Avashya means surely. Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will protect. So next point here is the patience and the confidence. So first enthusiasm, like we must act as enthusiastic way, and then endeavor with confidence. Confidence comes, and then patience. Patience and confidence. So Srila Prabhupada are giving example of Hare Krishna movement, that how single-handedly Srila Prabhupada started this movement, even facing health issues and lack of resources. But Srila Prabhupada was patient and act with confidence. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will surely protect and help me in execution of devotional service. So we can study how Srila Prabhupada in advanced age boarded the ship to go to USA, and he got some heart attacks in the journey as well. And then among the hippies, Srila Prabhupada preached Krishna consciousness, and even he cooked prasadam for them. Srila Prabhupada faced so many difficulties, but Srila Prabhupada never became impatient. And as a pure devotee of the Lord, he always has confidence in the Lord. The same example we can see in Hare Krishna WECAN, that Prabhuji told us that how important is the continuity of programs in preaching. We have seen ourselves that by Prabhuji's example, that after the health issues, family issues, or work issues, Prabhuji is never missed and continuously, tirelessly carry on the preaching programs day in and day out. So this is the practical implementation of what Srila Prabhupada is saying here, that one should take instructions from the spiritual master and execute them with patience, depending on the mercy of Guru and Krishna. That's why Prabhuji always says that it is Srila Gurudev who conducting these programs. Guru Maharaj gave instructions to preach to Prabhuji. That's why he is preaching. This is the example of complete dependence on Guru and Krishna. Then we will be patient and confident. Why not? When you know that Guru and Krishna and the whole parampara is behind you, then this is the confidence. The problem is that we do not have firm faith. Guru Krishna Kripa is there, but we need to become qualified and purified. Because without that, we don't get confidence. We don't know, because we're not sure. When you are not sure, you don't have firm faith. Obviously, you not be confident. So first we have faith, firm faith, and then we can implement these activities. So these points that practically we can see in front of us, that how the things are done, and the same we can implement in our lives. Yes, everyone have a different capacity. I have different capacity. Prabhuji's got different capacity. Every one of us has different capacity. But again, Prabhuji said that capacity can be increased. When you start doing things or start doing services, you will get confidence and capacity can be increased. So this is the example. So we'll take another next paras. Oh, sorry. If you have any questions, just raise it between. So if any points needs to be clarified as we go.
As already explained, one should not be idle, but should be very enthusiastic about executing the regulative principles. Tat karma pravartan. Neglect of the regulative principles will destroy devotional service. In this Krishna consciousness movement, there are four basic regulative principles: forbidding illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. A devotee must be very enthusiastic about following these principles. If he becomes slack in devotion in following any of them, his progress will certainly be checked. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore recommends tat karma pravartana. One must strictly follow the regulative principles of Vaidhi Bhakti. In addition to these four prohibitions, yama, there are positive regulative principle niyama, such as the daily chanting of 16 rounds on japa mala, beads. These regulative activities must be faithfully performed with enthusiasm. This is called tat karma pravartana, or very engagement in devotional service.
Yes. So this is the next principle, tat karma pravartana, acting according to regulative principles. So first being enthusiastic, then confidence, then being patient, and then regulative principles. Tat karma pravartana. So Srila Prabhupada are explaining that one must strictly follow the regulative principles of Vaidhi Bhakti. So we are following Vaidhi Bhakti, where there are yam, niyam, to follow. There are two types of bhakti. One is Raganuga Bhakti and another one is Vaidhi Bhakti. So Raganuga Bhakti is the spontaneous love and attachment to Krishna, where no question of rules and regulation as because the deep internal spiritual love and attachment, and there is no possibility because of that for sense gratification on your own. So like mother's spontaneous love for her child, she always thinks of her child's welfare. Child must be hungry, child must be cold or hot, child must be protected. All these thoughts come spontaneously as a deep attachment and love for her child. So similar way, when the Raganuga Bhakti or the pure devotees who are in this type of bhakti, that spontaneously comes this attachment for Krishna. They don't have to force rules and regulation. They don't even look at the sense gratification. But the second type is the Vaidhi Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti or the Vedic is the devotion performed according to scriptural injunctions and rules and regulations. Because as we lack internal spontaneous love and attachment to Krishna, so we need to practice these rules and regulations in order to get purified from our sense gratification tendency. That doesn't mean that after purification we stop following these rules and regulations. Instead, these rules and regulations are natural state. A pure devotee naturally do not intoxicate, do not eat meat, do not gamble, or do not do illicit sex. So these yama or prohibitions and niyama, the regulative principles, are for us to perform. So we can get purified and attached to Krishna. So this is tat karma parvartana. So when we follow Vaidhi Bhakti, because we have to follow Vaidhi Bhakti because we're not at that platform of Raganuga or spontaneous love. So we have to purify ourselves because we are too much engrossed in lower modes and doing the sense gratification activities because we are ignorant. We didn't know anything. Time immemorial, we are taking birth here in this material world and we getting contaminated. So we don't know anything else. So we're just doing sense gratifications. But now, because of the causeless mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Mahabhagavats, our Guru Maharaj, we're getting to know. This is a chance. So we shouldn't be taking this lightly. It's for myself. I'm talking about myself. So it is the chance that we shouldn't waste, and we should be very, very serious about it, because as we studied before, Brahmanda Brahmite, we always going up and down, taking birth of higher planets and lower planets, but because this is a chance of Bhagyavan, becoming a Bhagyavan by the mercy of the Vaishnavas. So we should be following this tat karma parvartanat very strictly. Then it is become favorable to our bhakti. So it will be favorable. There are these 6 principles. They are favorable to bhakti. So if we follow this, then we will progress in our pure devotional service. Okay. Right. So we'll take another paragraph. Yes. This one.
Furthermore, in order to be successful in devotional service, one must give up the association of undesirable people. This includes karmis, jnanis, yogis, and other non-devotees. Once Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asked by one of his householder devotees about the general principle of Vaishnavism, as well as the general routine activities of the Vaishnava. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately replied, Asat Sanga Tyaga, a Vaishnava Achara. Characteristically, a Vaishnava is one who gives up the association of worldly people or non-devotees. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has therefore recommended Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sane Vasa. One has to live in the company of pure devotees and execute the regulative principles laid down by the previous acharyas, the 6 Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. If one lives in the association of devotees, there is little chance of associating with non-devotees. The International Society of Krishna Consciousness is opening many centers just to invite people to live in the company of devotees and practice the regulative principles of spiritual life.
Yes. So this is the next principle is Sangha Tyagat, giving up the association of non-devotees. Srila Prabhupada are saying that this includes karmis, jnanis, yogis, and non-devotees. Now, this includes everyone around us because this world is full of non-devotees who do not believe in Krishna, karmis who only work for sense gratification, jnanis, mental speculators, and yogis, pseudo meditators, and mayavadis. So, world is full of it. We are surrounded by them. So, does this mean that we leave the society and live at the secluded place? No. This principle says Asat Sangha Tyagat Ei Vaishnava Achara, as Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya says this. So we need to understand what is association. When we associate with someone, then we tend to follow and imbibe their way of life, philosophy, and habits. Just talking to them or talking or work relationship only and social interactions are not association. People in society, we have a different philosophies like eat, sleep, and mating, no next life, or even they don't have any philosophy, but we do not follow them. This is the next point, that devotees association. We associate with like-minded devotees and follow Krishna conscious philosophy and follow yam and niyam of Vaidhi Bhakti. Srila Prabhupada made a house where the whole world can live. Srila Prabhupada started Hare Krishna movement and established the Society for Krishna Devotees, where we come together, discuss Srila Prabhupada books, share our realizations, and practically implement this philosophy and perform services. This is favorable to our bhakti. So this is that Sangha Tyaga. So it's not like we just close down, we don't talk to anybody. No, it's not like that. So because we are living in society, so we have to interact with people. We have our jobs, we have our family members, we have our relatives, neighbors, so many things, so many people. And they have different philosophies, they have different ways of life. That doesn't matter. The matter is the where we are associating. Are we associating with them or are we associating with devotees, like-minded devotees? Then we can progress. Then this favorable, then this become favorable. Otherwise, we will be dragged by everyone, because their habits are different. They might not getting up early in the morning. They might they're eating meat or they're doing intoxications, and doing all sorts of things. So we're not associating with them. We're associating with devotees. So this is the real meaning of association, like not literal, that not talking to them. So yes. That's I think we will stop here because it's only 3 minutes left. Is any burning question or any points you need to clarify while we little bit away, couple of minutes?